This is the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mohsin.
Happy Friday, folks. It's great to be back here again. And as always wonderful having you here with me, Sharon Skittle.
Always good to be here, Sarah Mohsin. Thank you.
You're the expert here with us on health and wellness, and we cover topics once a month. I think it's really important to have finance and health go hand in hand. You know, I'm a big believer on staying fit and healthy before we start medicating, and obviously there are certain times where you need to have medication, but with you and your expertise, can you share a little bit about your history and the work that you've done?
Well, I've been a trainer for the past 12 years, and I also am a Pilates instructor and a yoga instructor and a spin instructor, and I love cross-training. And today I thought we would actually talk about healthy backs because Americans in general seem to have back problems chronically, and so I thought it'd be a good place to start.
Okay, well, I think it's a great topic. I certainly see a lot of folks who go through injuries. I've seen athletes and even folks who are not athletes, but as you age, you do see a change in your body. So perhaps you can share with us best ways to prevent and work with back issues as well.
Yes, I think most Americans have some type of back pain at some point in their life. And one of the things you can do to combat this is really work on your core. And core is the big buzzword in the fitness industry for the past 5 years or so. And it's very true. A lot of people tend to spend so much time doing crunches that they ignore their obliques, which are the muscles on the side of your waist. And all that crunching forward actually lengthens your back extensors and it will weaken them. So today we're going to talk about some ways that you can combat that. One of the things being planking. And planking you can do anywhere, anytime, and if you're new, you can even start with your hands on a table, just leaning forward and placing weight on your table and keeping your abdominal muscles engaged. So suck your belly button up towards your spine like you're trying to pull it up and underneath your rib cage is a good place to start. She's making fun of me, folks. She is.
I think it's really useful because I've seen a lot of folks go through back injuries, and it's usually because for me, I work out, so a lot of people are lifting heavy or they're not lifting properly when they're working out, and that can cause injuries.
Yeah, and even house cleaning and basic, picking up your laundry basket, you want to squat down and pick it up using your legs. You're bending over to pick things up. That's an easy way to tweak your back. So to prevent that, when you do pick something up, consciously hug in your abdominal muscles. Engage them before you even begin to lift it, and you're going to protect your spine. We spend so much time bent over. Even if you work at a desk, you're leaning forward. So you need to do some things to counter that. So like laying on the floor and doing a simple swimmer exercise or side planking. Obliques are so important to strengthen the muscles on the side of your waist. It's very, very important to protect your spine that those muscles are equally strong. You want to keep a balanced body. I think we've talked about this on other shows, how important I believe it is to keep your body balanced. So if you're working the front of your body, you also need to work the back of your body. And that is what's going to protect you.
Here's the thing. You've had clients that you've trained for years, and you see the differences in how their body changes. And what I like about your technique when you're actually training is you're actually using your body. It's more of the circuit training.
And my preference is always body weight as opposed to heavy weights. I mean, I do use lots of muscle bars and lighter weights, lighter being like 12 to 15 pound dumbbells. Again, we talked about last week, I believe, not lifting heavy enough. Our purses usually weigh more than the weights we lift, and that doesn't serve us. So we want to make a conscious effort to do things that are going to strengthen us. And a good place to start is with strengthening our back.
Right. And the other thing that I've also seen is that for folks who aren't working out, for example, that have gone through back surgery and have gone through injuries because of just life in itself. I've had friends of mine who don't work out. Perhaps they've been lifting stuff. Maybe it's work that they've done in the past, or they've hurt their backs through a car accident. I mean, those are things that you want to pay attention to because there are ways to repair that situation. I know you did a trigger workshop with a health and wellness fair with my good friend Christine Thompson, who owns World Magazine. So you did such a great job. You had it looked like 100 people that were at your workshop. It was like 80, wasn't it, or 100?
Yeah. For being 7:30 in the morning, I was pleased with the attendance.
It was phenomenal, and that helps.
Trigger points help. I teach a healthy back clinic. You've not been to one of those, but I've taught those at different libraries in the area. and at the gym. And it's a really simple way to improve your strength. Again, my husband had 3 vertebrae in his lower back that were out of place, and surgery was an option, and it wasn't one we wanted to take. And so by doing a combination of Pilates and yoga exercises, he was able to combat that, and now he golfs regularly. And I know we have a lot of golfers out there that listen. Golfing is so difficult on the body. Ask Tiger Woods. I mean, it's really hard on the knees. It's really hard on the back. And so things that you should be doing. One of the most important things you can do is in the morning, and at night, lay down on the floor. Keep your shoulders flush to the floor, arms out to your side like the letter T. Pull your knees into your chest and drop your knees to the right side. Look left. And stay there for a couple minutes, and then drop your knees to the right and look. No, drop your knees to the left and look right. I have trouble with my left and right, folks, but always take that spinal twist, because it's really important to help loosen up the lower back extensors. And then I like flowing bridge pose, where you roll up and roll down and lift your hips. Any of the swimmer poses, anything that's going to help strengthen the back extensors is a really important thing to do to protect your back as we age.
Your husband was a wrestler, so therefore you kind of, with the background that you have, it gels really well in respect to, with his injuries and repairing injuries for other people. And I mean, you've had longstanding clients. I just had a conversation, I didn't share this with you, with one of your longest clients who, was just saying how much you've helped him. And certainly you're you're gifted with what you do, but you're, in respect to certifications, but you're gifted in the sense that you're very kind and caring, and you take the time out for everyone. I've seen that. So I certainly appreciate you taking time to be with us here to share your experiences, and I enjoy having you here once a month, because it is important to our listeners. I don't think the focus is faith and family and your health and finance. I mean, that's how it works, I believe.
I think when you are healthy and strong, you have space in your life for everything else. So, it's an hour a day, and it's an investment in your future, and it will keep you healthy for the long haul, so you can focus on your finance and focus on your faith and your family.
Right. And here's the thing, we talk about finance every single day. And the reason I like combining fitness is because I have conversations with our listeners. It's not just about, we're buying a home, or we're looking at refinancing, or building a hotel, or whatnot. We get personally involved with their lives. And therefore, I do hear a lot of stories where people have concerns and issues with their health. And with all of the certifications you have, and you do have a very diverse background, and then you're opening up your studio, which I'm very excited for you, and hopefully I can find my way there.
I'll pick you up.
I'm just a lazy driver. But I think that it's amazing that you're in a place right now that you can share that knowledge, and it's very important for people to have that.
Well, I do think it's so important, and I hate when I hear people say I don't have time to exercise. And even I've had a couple people who have said things, I think it's really selfish. I have young kids at home, to take an hour out of my day when I should be at home with them. It's almost selfish not to. When you don't take care of yourself, you don't have the energy. There was a study that shows that every day you're inactive, you lose 7 to 10% of your energy. So staying active really, even if it's a half hour a day, you're going to invest that time, and you're going to get so much more out of it. So it's worth taking the time to start. If you're not already exercising, make a conscious effort. And even if you start 10 minutes a day, but start. And then you'll find you'll want to do it, and you'll find you'll have so much more energy. And that's how you begin to lead that healthy lifestyle that does free you up for so much more.
But here's the thing, because you live by your own words, because you started working out later on in life,
yes.
Right?
Yes. When my children were little, they were probably 5 and 2, and I was cranky in the mornings. They would, be right in my face at 6:30 in the morning. Mommy, I'm hungry. And I'd be like, Rrr. So I thought, I better go to the gym before they get up,
right,
so that I'm pleasant when I come home. And it worked. I would get up, go to a spin class, come home, and be full of energy and happy and wanting to make pancakes or whatever they wanted. And it made a big difference in my life. And so I can tell you, from a former couch potato, it makes a big difference.
But that's the thing. It's one thing to actually preach it, but you practice it. And I think that it's amazing. It is like a drug, how you feel after you finish a workout versus
right. And I'm not naturally athletic. You can attest for this. I'm actually very uncoordinated. Look, she's laughing because she's seen me try to go left when I meant right.
But you're very athletic. It's just, the reality is that I work out and I go to your classes, so therefore I must learn something.
It's entertainment value. I believe I've
No,
heard you
it's
say
not
once or
that.
twice.
That's not true. You are very, very gifted, and you have a great following. Your classes are always full, and I've said that, and I will continue to say it because people truly believe in the work that you do, and you have a gift.
Well,
You
I
do.
believe in the work that I do. I really believe it makes a difference in your life, and I really believe that baby steps. I hated exercise. My brothers were both athletes. They are still dismayed that I do all this now because, I grew up product of the 80s, big hair, big nails. I had gold fingernails and big hair. I did not want to get dirty. And now I love it, and it made a huge difference, and I feel so much better, and I recommend it highly for everyone. And I think it's important. I have a history of arthritis in my family. My father was an electrician, and he worked hard his whole life, and he's had 3 knee replacements. He's had shoulder, and I have the same type of bones. And, it's important that you watch your diet when you're arthritic. Sugar really adds to the inflammation. Starches add to the inflammation. And so that's something you can do to help prevent that is cut your sugar, cut your starch, eat alkaline products, which, actually, your citrus fruits will create alkalinity in the body. Kale, spinach, any of your dark green leafy vegetables are really good to help combat that. So, take responsibility for yourself. And as miserable as it is to start, you'll get to the point where you love it, trust me, because I am a Swedish fish junkie, and I know that when I eat them, I notice it. And when I don't, I feel better.
Can you give us your contact info so that folks can reach out to you directly?
Absolutely. Sharon Skittle, SharonSkittle @gmail.com. And I will be happy to answer any questions. And if there's any topics that you want to discuss, please let me or Sarah know, and we will have some information for you.
Folks, you can also reach us here at 1-800-662-9550. And Sharon's going to be on once a month. I think it's really important for our listeners to benefit from her on health and wellness. And any last words?
Yep, just thanks for having me on again.
Oh, my pleasure. Stay well, folks.
This has been the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.